Hey folks, it's Richard here from Bikepacking Adventures. I'm here in a beautiful forest surrounding. It is a middle of autumn, so let's just show you where I'm right now. I'm in this beautiful woodland, camped out. It's pretty dull weather-wise. It's been cloudy for days on end. Barely seen the sun. It's just been getting colder and colder the longer it's been hanging around. Go back to the beginning of that trip. It was the end. We had a bit of what here in the UK we call an Indian summer, whereas the weather was still quite warm. It was like 22, 23, and that lasted about two maybe 3 days at a push. Anyway, I just wanted to address some questions that were left down in the comments of the videos that have gone out. And one of those which I noticed, how do I plan my rides? Well, I didn't start with a clean slate in the sense that I have been to the Netherlands a couple of times previously. My biggest tool really is my heat map. I see that via the website Ride with GPS, if you're familiar with it. For me, it's the best route planning tool there is out there. That's the one I use. You might use something different, let me know down below. But for me, it is the best tool out there. From two separate journeys that I've been there before. The first of those I visited in 2019. If you're from the northern part of the Netherlands, if you're watching this, you know it quite well. There's a big event out there called the Fietsentocht, which it translates to the 11 cities of Friesland. It's a 235-kilometre ride around Friesland, funnily enough. Oh, look at this ground here. So it's caught my eye. Done that route, I say, back in 2019, but I actually cycled from Rotterdam in order to attend the event. And that was more or less in a straight line, directly northeast. I went over the I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Alflusdijk. I had to get a shuttle bus though because it was closed at that point. And it was actually, funnily enough, it was the last shuttle bus that day. So it wasn't a bikepacking trip. This was long before bikepacking to me was even a thing. It was, it would have been cycle touring early. So that was the first trip. Anyway, on the second visit to the Netherlands, I took part in an event called Race Around the Netherlands. And as the name suggests, that was a journey all the way around the Netherlands, and that's where I gained most of my knowledge of the country. It was 2,000 kilometres. I'm not even going to tell you the amount of climbing because A, I don't know, B, it wasn't that significant. And it was a whistle-stop tour of the country. We swung all the way east, to the strip where the country where it meets Germany, and we went all the way up to the very top, follow the coast. Basically, we was following the coastline on which this route was. We got in the middle. It was following it all the way around through all the gates where the sheep are. Following the North Sea, I think that would be. Went to all different parts of the country, and then once you got off the coastline, past the dunes and everything, and you even went even further south than the last trip did. And we followed all the way along the bottom with Belgium. Went into Limburg, the region of Limburg, to what's the name of the place? It begins with a V. It's where the tri-county borders of Belgium, it must be Germany, and the Netherlands meet, and that was the hilliest part. That was a fantastic journey. So anyway, to answer the question, when I planned the route, I took the best elements of what I'd learnt on the Race Around the Netherlands. Bear in mind, much of it, well, half of it was all coastal, and then the other half was inland, but it was always following the edge. There's lots of it in the middle that I hadn't visited, so when I did this trip, bikepacking in the Netherlands, I wanted to incorporate as much of riding in the country as possible. And so when it comes to the trails and things like that, I had another source of information I could visit, and apart from the race around the Netherlands road, they do a race around the Netherlands gravel as well. That takes place every other year, and although I didn't spend too much time in it, it was an extra resource, so I'd always cross-reference some of the trails that route was taking compared to, you know, where I wanted to go as well, to keep me going in a circle around the country. I took elements of it. It was very small elements. A lot of it was on the fly, and I'd also use the what's the word? The public. We'll call it the public heat map as well. The global heat map. That's what you call it. You turn on that and see where most people go, and you go, oh, you know, can I go for that woodlands? Don't really know. Let's try and drop a pin down on Street View, which is a lot more possible in the Netherlands than it is here in the UK. So I was using that, dropping the pin down, seeing where I could ride, get a satellite view out, zoom down and things like that. Now all this is good and well, except part of my ride, as you saw, hopefully, I went into Germany as well. Now the problem with Germany is, due to privacy laws, you don't have Street View across most of the country, if not all the country, so I couldn't use that. So that was a little bit frustrating. However, I've had experience riding through Germany before. I'll drop a link to this video in the corner. You'll find out I'm a lot more experienced than, if you haven't been watching the channel, you see I've been doing this thing for a lot longer. Transcontinental race is what I'm pointing you towards. Oh wow, I can see blue sky. There's a slight sliver of blue sky. God. Yeah, so anyway, that's a bit of background behind the planning. I think the other question was in there was about sleeping kit and camping and things like that, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll look at that briefly. This is, if you want to watch it, I'll just keep an eye on the channel. Will be a future bikepacking trip, going all the way through my gear. In fact, I might do a more up-to-date video about what I take with me for winter bikepacking. But in brief, this is the tent. It's the Nature Hike Monga 2. Advertised as a 2-person tent. It's really spacious inside. This is the one I took with me. Mat, usual stuff really. Mats, a season 1. Yes, a season 1 sleeping bag. I just take stuff like these, puffy pants I call them, a thick pair of socks even. These shoes, I didn't take these with me, these are brand new, but I was just wearing my cycling shoes. I took this green down jacket with me, a nice long sleeve fleecy top, wore that underneath, a hat. Oh, my alarm going off. It must be 7:30. Knock that off. Just lots of warm clothes to complement the whole system really, because that's where I saved a bit of weight, not having a big heavy sleeping bag. But yeah, that's the tent, what you saw in the video, the Nature Hike Monga 2. If you want to go look it up, it's probably gone up in price now as everything it has, but at the time it cost me about £115 or something like that. I've had it for maybe 3.5 years now, and it's still going strong. Although on that trip I did break the middle piece of the pole, so I've had to plaster it back together kind of thing. But yeah, nothing a bit of Gorilla Tape couldn't fix. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's something a little bit different. An off the bike video. I don't do many of these, but I thought I was in such a beautiful surroundings, the colours of autumn. You know, I thought I'd take this opportunity, just, you know, while I'm out here, the nature, to talk about that trip, and perhaps answer some of the questions that you've been posing. But if you've got any more questions, just head down in the comments below, and I'll try and answer those if I possibly can. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking, catch my breath, and have a nice cup of coffee and some oats. now that I've got all my cooking got all my cooking equipment back, because if you watch that series, you know in the first few days I lost all my cooking gear. Anyway, on that note, I'll see you in the next video soon. If you haven't already, do hit subscribe. I do see the stats. It's surprising that only 40% of everybody who watches this channel, just watches it, which is fantastic. But it'd be nice to get the subscribers up. It really spreads the word about my bikepacking adventures, which I do love sharing with you guys. But it's always good to have a great audience. Anyway, I shall see you in the next one soon. Take care. Bye bye. Life is good.